How is inflation affecting the real estate market? And what is this invasion of Ukraine from Russia going to and could in fact affect our real estate market here in Northern Nevada as well as across the country? I'm Garrett Stewart, and we're going to take a look and see what is in store for us. Let's take a look. I wanted to show this information for you about inflation. I was just at a conference last month in Orlando for Keller Williams, and it was a very insightful graph that I wanted to share with you. So let's talk about inflation and how it's affected over time. So let's talk about cars. Back in 1989, the average price for a car was just over $15,000. Today, $46,404. Now we know that over time inflation happens, and there is a steady rate for that, and over the time a more healthier inflation rate than we are now. But if inflation would have continued from 1989 to 2021, the appropriate price for that car would have been just over $35,000. Well, it's not. It's $46,000, so $11,000 over it, which ended up being 30% more than what it should have been after adjusted for inflation. So I wanted to kind of point this out. And then if you look at gas here, same thing, 89, 97 cents. Wouldn't we love that today right now? In 2021, $3.51. A bit more now. But if we adjusted that for inflation, it would have been $2.25. So a 56% increase. Now let's talk about homes. The home price back in 89, $94,000 for an average home across the country. That'd be great. Today, or 2021, almost $347,000. And that would, but if it would have been adjusted for inflation over time, that $94,000 at a healthy rate of inflation should have only been $218,000. So that would have been an increase of almost 59%. But if you take into effect of the mortgage payment and how that's changed, because at the end of the day, what you're paying month after month is going to be more important than what you're actually paying for the house. And if you $825 for your mortgage payment in 1989 versus $1,455 in 2021, well, yes, it's more. If you adjusted that $825 payment for inflation, it would have been over $1,900. So that's what we would have estimated over time the average mortgage payment to be. But that wasn't the case. We saw that it was down 24% versus what it was. So very insightful information. Just to give you an idea in terms of affordability, when you adjust inflation, homes are actually more affordable in terms of payment-wise today than they were in 1989. I understand the prices are higher, but we always got to think about what that payment is, and that's usually what's most important for people, being able to pay their mortgage payment. I felt compelled to talk about what is happening in Ukraine with Russia invading and how that could affect the United States and, of course, Northern Nevada. Here are 4 things that we need to watch over time. First one is going to be our demand. We normally in geopolitical unrest, we have some consumer hesitancy on purchases, whether goods and services, as well as real estate. So we saw that in the pandemic where sales stopped for a little bit. But if we're looking, we're going to track our buyer demand. This is back in January before the invasion, but we can see buyer demand was very strong across the country, between stable and all the way to very strong. There was no weak buyer demand or buyer traffic out there. So we're going to watch that and see if that affects it over time. We're going to see if it affects the seller's side as well of them putting their homes on the market. Right now, we are very short demand. Tracking from January 2022, we see that it went down to 1.6 month supply of inventory. If you remember, we're under a month here in Reno, but that is very low. Give it some perspective, since 2019, you can see how low it really is across the country. Inventory is critically low across the board. So 1.6 months of inventory where, just a year and a half ago it was 4.6 months. significantly less. Another way the political climate and everything happening in Ukraine can change our market is new home construction. Now, remember a while back when the lumber prices skyrocketed? Now they came down a little bit, but we anticipate and could see some back to increased price for goods and construction goods that are needed to build homes. So we may see new construction prices go up. Now, in the Census Bureau, we saw some interesting information here. And I just kind of want to point out this last slide where in 2021's costs for new homes were also more than 23% higher than pre-pandemic 2019. So the cost to build a home has been steadily going up over the last couple of years. And with inflation the way it is and everything happening in Ukraine, we could see that go up more. So we're going to watch that and see. Hopefully we don't see anything too dramatic, but we'll keep an eye on it and I'll keep you updated. Another way that everything happening in Ukraine could affect our market, luxury and second homes. A lot of these luxury purchases, multi-million-dollar priced homes are getting purchased. A lot of times they're pulling money out of their, not just savings, but actually out of their investment accounts. And when they're pulling that money out, obviously their investments have to be doing pretty well. And with that said, if you take a look at what the Dow Jones alone has done this year, you can see we've been on a decline for a little bit, over 9% drop since the beginning of the year. So we're going to watch this and hopefully we don't see too much more change. It's still very high for their numbers. So I don't anticipate, as long as we don't see it drop a bunch more, we should be fine. But that's something to watch as well, because that's where a lot of source of funds are to purchase these higher priced homes. Finally, the fourth thing that can be affected with any geopolitical type situation is going to be interest rates. We've talked about interest rates and what we've thought they're going to do, and we've been watching them go up. And they were going up before anything happened in Ukraine, as you can see this graph here. But are they going to go up more? We tend to actually see interest rates go down when something like COVID-19. You can see what happened when COVID-19 happened. So it'll be interesting to see. I've heard rumors that with the Treasury Department was going to possibly increase interest rates, but now they might not increase it as much as they said they were going to. We'll find out in a few days. But with that said, that's something to watch for and make sure we don't get a dramatic jump if they do raise rates. So I'll keep you updated on that. But 3.76 is where we're at today. But you can see that's still lower than pre-pandemic numbers still. Now I want to talk about the forecast for the next year. And while a lot of these numbers, if you look at the average of all fours, they're like, still in the threes, maybe, and at the end 4%. I do want to explain what these numbers mean. And these normally mean these are like their perfect, ideal client. You couldn't do anything wrong and no extra fees tacked on by a mortgage company doing it. So I will say most clients these days are getting today interest rates into the low 4% range, maybe to mid 4% range. So keep that in mind when you are shopping homes. They are a little bit higher than this. Most likely, you're likely going to be in the fours already. But in terms of a base rate, just to track more of are they going up or down, this is a great scale to know if they're going to be going up or down. And all of them are saying up. If you look at the MBA there, Mortgage Bankers Association, they're kind of even a little bit more predicting a little bit higher rate jumps versus the others. So honestly, I kind of lean that's going to be more likely the case. Hopefully not, but if you are interested in buying a home, please let's get together and see if now may be the best time for you to get a home, or if it's better for you to wait a little bit longer. I'm more than happy to have a conversation with you. Don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. My contact information is below. Shoot me a text. I'm happy to help. Don't forget to subscribe right over here and watch my other videos where I just highlighted our Northern Nevada real estate numbers just this last week. Thank you so much for watching and have a great month.